Hey everybody, Derek here with another review of a motorcycle. Today it's something special. It's a new bike to me. It is actually a Harley Road King 2009. So without much further ado, let's hit the intro and get to it. Okay, here we are. So if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I kind of started out with the Kymco K-pipe, and I've made my way slowly this way. I was never a big Harley person, but I wasn't even a Harley hater either. I've only ever owned metrics, so this is my first experience ever with a non-metric bike, being a Harley Davidson. So like I said before, this is a 2009 Harley Davidson Road King. Let's talk about it a little bit here. So I got this just a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago, from a good friend of mine. He sold to me for a really good deal, and I had to take it up on it. So here it is. So let's talk about it. It is a 6-speed, 1548 cc motor, and it is unknown horsepower. I'm not quite sure how much horsepower they have on them. Harley doesn't really tell you. But being my first experience with a non-metric bike, I'll tell you what, I kind of see what all the big deal is about. I wasn't really convinced that it would be that much different compared to my last bike, my Shadow 1100 or my V-Star. I thought, whatever, it's a motorcycle, but it really is a different feel. The big difference between Harleys and the metric bikes is just a raw power kind of thing. Obviously, my last bike was only a 1100, this being almost a 1550, but 200 pounds heavier. It's still a lot faster. It doesn't have a lot of the features in certain aspects that the metric does. This doesn't. So like on my Shadow, it would shut off when you when you put the kickstand up if you're in gear. This one does not. So you can be in gear and you can have the kickstand up, and if you start the engine, you're going to run into something ahead of you, kind of like a car if you have the clutch out. So that's something to know. But I'll just say overall, it's a really amazing bike. It's a lot of fun. It sounds freaking awesome. It rides awesome. It's really comfortable. Just a different feel. This one in particular has a lot of miles. It's got 75,000 miles, which is awesome. I like high mileage bikes. I like high mileage cars, and I'm not afraid of that. So that's actually a plus for me. It means that it's been taken care of and it's well loved. This has I changed out the derby cover on that side. It has Vance & Hines short shots on it. It's got the Screaming Eagle intake. It's got this gentleman here, which I'm not really a huge fan of. I will be removing that. I'm not really into the whole Confederate flag type of thing. It's just not my bag. So that'll be coming off. Just changed out these mirrors. The original mirrors were kind of these little skeleton hands holding the mirrors. I got these slimmer ones. I think they look a lot better, look a lot nicer, more classy. There's kind of a lot of interesting stuff with the Harley because the generation that rides these, that can afford these, is much older. So if you find and use one of these, they may be set up for let's just say the boomers, like that, the horn cover there. I don't really say that's my bag, but some people like that. This was actually purchased from a good friend of mine that purchased it for someone that I'm acquaintances with, and this is kind of his stuff he did. It's not my thing, but it's a thing. So yeah, just the overall feel. It's gourmet. It's a gourmet feeling to ride one of these. It's a lot louder. It's a lot rawer. The balance on it is super nice. You don't feel too top heavy on these Road Kings. You don't feel like you're riding a 775 pound motorcycle. That's for damn sure. You feel like it's something comfortable. I'd highly recommend it. I think this is my favorite motorcycle I've ever ridden, and I've ridden quite a few. I get the Harley thing. I don't think it's the only thing that you can ride, but I get why people kind of stick to these, because there's such a culture embedded around it. There's so many readily available parts. There's so many readily available modifications. Sky's the limit. But when you go into kind of some of the different metric bikes, there just isn't the parts, because there isn't the demand, because there isn't the culture around it. Obviously, there is definitely parts for, you know, your V-Star 650s or your V-Stars or your Honda Shadows, but I just don't think they're going to be as good, and I don't think they'll be as wide ranged as you will for Harley. There's just like a whole kind of lifestyle built around riding these things, so that's kind of the whole thing of it all. I'm trying to think what else. Beyond that, it's pretty much all the same. People driving by, I'm a little sheepish to talk. Besides, just the feel and the whatever else you may think it has, it's all pretty much the same. There's really not much different about this than there will be about, you know, my V-Star. I mean, this doesn't really feel much different than riding the V-Star. It just feels faster. It feels heavier, but not by a lot. This definitely has, in the licks department, Harley has it all. Everyone just rips them off. They've been chasing them for a long time. Suzuki's been chasing them. Yamaha's been chasing them just for the looks. They can all build great bikes. There are flaws on both sides. If you're looking for something that's going to be bulletproof, I think the Road King is the best bike you can get as far as you know, the Harley line. If you're looking for something that's going to be bulletproof, period, maybe a Shadow. I don't know. Maybe a V-Star 650. Those engines are just proven bulletproof. So that's kind of my thought on the whole bike. So to summarize, this thing is amazing. It's gourmet. It's like when you put on a pair of Nikes for the first time and you're like, oh, these are good shoes. These are nice. I get it. I get why people like these. And then you go and you buy a pair of, what are those nice ones called? Hokas. You go and buy a pair of Hokas. You're like, oh, this is what a pair of running shoes should feel like. Nikes are nice and all, but this is what running shoes should feel like. That's kind of what it is from going from a metric bike to a Harley, in my opinion. Nobody has ever paid me a dime to, you know, endorse any of the motorcycles. I think both lines are great. I think all Japanese bikes that I've ridden are great. I just think that Harley has it a little bit better, and I'm not a purist. I just think that this may just be, I understand it now. I get it. But I'm not a person that's going to tell you to go out and get a real bike. You got to get a Harley. I'm just going to tell you what I think. I think the Shadows are great. I think the V-Stars are great. I just think these Harley Road Kings, from what I've ridden, what I've experienced so far, is just top notch. So there it is. You got the floorboards on there. Got a nice set of bags. You got the back seat, backrest. This is my 09 Road King. Of the rating scale, I would say this is an intermediate bike to ride. It's not something you're going to want to buy as your first bike, and maybe not your second bike, but definitely third bike. So there it is, 09 Road King. Thanks for watching. I've been told I need to be a little less serious on these videos. I'm trying. So I don't got any jokes, but peace out.